down. We're almost to school. It's time now for the school report. Today we welcome Mike Beighley to the studio, the superintendent of the Whitehall School District, brought to you by Poppy Bus Service. The school report starts right now.
That is right, everybody. It is time for your school report. I am joined by Mike Beighley, and we were just talking. It seems like forever since we've had you in here.
It's been since November, I think. So, yeah, it has seemed like an awful long time. So, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, all the way last year.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. So
I get hit with all the holidays on this fourth Friday. So
You've got hit with all of them, but we're glad to have you back in the studio. We got lots of good things to talk about. I guess we could start off. You guys were down in Milwaukee, was it, last Friday?
We were. The annual education convention, often referred to as the school board convention. So an opportunity, generally speaking, between 2,000 and 3,000 people from all over the state get together and talk about things that we need to talk about. And certainly there's plenty to talk about in this day and age around the amount of change that has to happen and where things sit and then trying to tackle how do we do those things. So it was a great week. We had a big in-service day on Friday for our folks locally, so I came back a little bit early and we were able to do that on a cold day. We shifted gears and did some virtual things and actually had a really, really good day. So it kind of proves what's possible.
Yeah, and since you did mention virtual stuff, we might as well get right into it. I've got some notes here about the realities of virtual schools and vouchers. You want to talk a bit about that? Part
of what got talked about down in Milwaukee is, and it's going to sound perhaps like I'm picking and choosing or bashing. I'm not. I'm just, we still continue to lack awareness of all of the different things that are happening often in our country. And, I think there were some interesting numbers that popped. The voucher school costs. So in Wisconsin, we talked a lot about this year about not having money to be able to fund public ed, right?
Yep.
The voucher costs in Wisconsin are $770 million for this year.
Wow.
That means it comes from taxpayers to pay for kids to attend voucher schools. That's just something we need to be aware of. People need to be making conscious decisions about what they want and what they expect from their elected folks. So, and then you have the rise of the online education scenario.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a forecast the other day. By 2030, right now, about 82% of kids attend public schools, okay? By 2030, that's forecasted to be 50%. Now, that tells us a couple of things, right? There's a move to online.
Yes.
But it's based in choice and flexibility and also understanding that our current model is often outdated. So all of those things were part of things that we talked about, but you talk about the rise of online education. In 2020, that was about $190 billion annually.
Yep.
Okay. The forecast in 2030 is almost $700 billion in our country.
Jeez.
You talk about a growing reality that schools need to understand.
Yep.
Folks are asking for something different. And along with that, we actually used it in a presentation we did down there. There was a massive study about what folks expect from their schools, what the targets ought to be. 71% of people in this country think schools need to change. Okay, 71%.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw a number like that in this country?
Oh, no kidding. No one can agree on that much in this country.
But 71% of people want to see something different. So that's certainly, I think we've talked about it before, that's our target. But this awareness issue is something that I think we really have to be, if we're going to remain the standard of living that we think we have in this country and that we have built over the last 250 years, we have to wake up. We got to have a whole lot of folks start asking a whole lot more questions. In my world, that starts with questioning everything we do in education.
Yeah.
We need to literally question everything.
Yep. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, what are our targets? What are our end games? What are we setting out to do? And does that match what the world needs? Does it match what our state needs? Does it match what our regional and what our region needs and what our community needs? And again, 71% of people saying right now it doesn't.
Yeah.
So then you see this massive shift to online school or to voucher schools. The difficulty with all of those things is you start fragmenting our population.
Yep.
I can't remember which movie or what show or what talk show I saw it on, but there was this concept that America is an idea, right? It's not about some physical thing. It's the people that make America. And we have to understand that, which means we have a responsibility. We talked about that as part of the, we really politely scolded about 130 or so folks that were at the presentation we did. We kind of politely scolded them and said, we're the leaders. We are the ones that either have been selected to, but more importantly, have taken responsibility for figuring out what to do.
Yeah.
It's time to wake up. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. And, part of that is looking at the risks of the future and making those plans, because you've said it many times that we are already doing things that have, they worked great in the past, but we don't live in the past. We live in this new digital AI world. So you want to talk about some of those, risks and top risks of 2026 that you guys are working for?
Well, it was interesting. I got sent that article out of Eurasia. It was titled the Eurasia Report. And certainly started digging into that. Obviously, I've learned over the last 10 years in particular to really question things at a depth.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we all need to do. It's easy to get run around with, especially we got another campaign season coming, right? It's too easy to get into these superficial soundbite conversations. And then because you like one soundbite, you have to adopt the whole thought process that goes along with that.
Yeah.
Which really is nothing more than manipulation, right?
Yeah.
It's external manipulation. So I think there were some interesting pieces, and you start talking about the global impacts of some of the decisions that are being made right now.
Yeah.
The most pressing one for me was the energy stacking that's taking place in China. We have a conversation in this country right now going around with data centers.
Yep.
and how are we going to power them and that whole concept. Well, if we're going to remain a world power, first of all, we're going to have them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have to figure out where we are. But we've already fallen dramatically behind in terms of electric power and batteries and the ability to generate clean power.
Yep.
Certainly in today's political environment, that can get people's attention, right? We're still a petro state.
Yep.
We really are. And I'm not picking one or the other, but we have to understand the realities.
Yeah.
That if we can't generate power with our power grid, our ability to function in this nation or this globe becomes diminished.
Yeah.
You talk about getting into a third world country, the technological advancements. We've seen the changes even in the Russian-Ukraine thing. It's a drone war.
Yep.
That concept is something that folks need to be aware of. So that kind of ties into all the stuff we're doing, right? How do we redefine a skill set for kids? And we're aggressively digging at that. We've talked about it all over the place, a lot locally. Our folks, I think, are excited. For the most part. Certainly we have some trepidation and some folks that have challenges understanding the big picture of what we're trying to do. But it all comes back to the fact that we need to wake up.
Yeah.
We have to stop taking everything at face value, and we have to stop looking backwards.
Yep.
We spend a lot of time in this country. There's a massive movement right now to protect what we've always done, right? Well, that takes out the reality of where we're heading in the global future.
Yeah.
So we have to get back to finding some balance and some ability to think and question and debate and really just come up with the idea not of who's right, but of doing the right things for our kids. So that's certainly where we are. It's a whole lot of stuff going on in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, part of that question and debate and learning how to question and debate civilly. I think that's where we have lost so much in the past few years, that people need to sit down, actually hear the other side. Right. Listen to hear and understand instead of listen to respond.
Right. You just said it. A lot of folks listen and they'll pretend to listen to a point where they can then argue or they can share their perspective. That's part of this whole redesign of what we're trying to do. If you look at where the future's heading, you have all these technology pieces coming in. You have a whole different world perspective. We have to still be able to communicate.
Yeah.
We've spent millions, if not billions of dollars in this country around reading or writing, or should we learn cursive writing and all those types of things. If we don't figure out what it's going to take to communicate looking forward, we are doing a disservice to our kids. If we don't create kids with the ability to think analytically and think critically and understand that they have to learn for themselves.
Yeah.
This is not what you or me as an adult can impose our will on a kid and give them some knowledge base like we all got that should give you the fundamental degree of success going forward. That world is gone.
Yeah.
You talk about 24 to 27 complete relearns in an adult life now. Complete relearns. You can't spend 2 months or 6 months in school to relearn, or 2 years in a technical college to relearn those things. So I think that's all part of this greater perspective, but it really starts with questioning.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the process right now. I mentioned that in-service day on Friday. We're in this process right now of stepping back. We've got a lot of folks that did a lot of pilots. We did a lot of stuff to really gain, first of all, some really impressive and massive data in terms of what success really should look like, what it can look like, and better yet, what kids are capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And we have no concept of what they're capable of. I will tell you that. But we're going to find out. So we're in this process right now of stepping back and redefining exactly what our targets are, then build the system, blending in things like communication, critical thinking, analytical thinking, emerging technology, and then also durable skills. We've got data from employers from this region and all over the country. The targets that they have certainly don't include taking the ACT test, right? They need kids that can think, show up, engage, communicate, all those different things. So we have to become more direct in terms of being able to teach those things as well. And we got away from that as we chased test scores. Okay, got into a pretty lively debate in Milwaukee at one point about somebody telling us that the work we're doing isn't necessary for them because their test scores are good. And my response was, maybe your test scores should suck because we're not testing the right things. We're not assessing the right things. I think until you have that question, if the answer to those questions, if you've truly looked at it and says, yes, these are the right targets, then we should be thumping our chest over those test scores. I will tell you from my research over the last 10 years, they are not the right things. So we should be questioning, should be looking at what those things need to be going forward. Emerging tech has to become a cornerstone of what kids need.
Because we're going into a technological society. If you like it or not, ChatGPT and all those things are here to stay. If you don't, my wife has been pushing against that for so long. They have implemented it at work, and she's like, finally, okay. She's like, I can't get my work done as fast as everyone else does because I'm spending too much time drafting emails and things. So we, like you said, it's the way it's going if we like it or not. So.
And understanding we've never lived in a time of change like this. You know, for most folks to understand that we're going to live in perpetual exponential growth models going forward, that's really hard. You know, we're used to changing over years. Even the liftoffs work we're doing, the conglomeration of energy around the durable skills, the engagement piece, redefining all of the things that make up school, a lot of that centers back to how do we get it done? You know, which components are important, and then what do we really need to do to provide success? But none of that is prepared for. That whole system was designed originally to take 4 years. We designed it 6 months ago. You know what I mean? It's and now all of a sudden that's not fast enough. So our model right now is we're going to take each of those 4 steps or phases. We're going to do them in a month. We're going to take 4 months and really focus on getting things in place. And if that's not an indicator of how fast we need to change. So we took a model that was originally designed to implement over a 4-year period. And we can't take that long. We lose ground every single day if people wake up and start asking the right questions. They'll understand we are losing ground. We're losing market share. We're losing credibility. We're losing our ability to maintain our current way of life. Look at what's happening in Europe. You know, the European countries are struggling. You know, you've got a perceived now war between NATO and Russia, right? You have this whole concept. And most of us are too contained with today, right? Or looking backwards about how things used to be. I do that too. I mean, it's comfortable, right?
That nostalgia feels good.
And we did. We lived in a really, really prosperous time. We lived in a great time to be in this country. If we want that to continue, we better wake up in a hurry. And understand that we're going to have to make some really hard decisions. We're going to have to do some heavy lifting, much like our founding fathers did. Right? This country didn't just snap its fingers and this is what we saw.
There were some growing pains.
A ton of them. In our generations, didn't really have to endure anything like that. We got to ride the good times.
Yep.
Well, now we have some challenges, and it's time for us to wake up.
Yeah. And, like you said, too, it's that moving from, like, teaching to learning is the crucial thing. Because I remember taking tests as a kid. You spent a couple days, you crammed all that information in your head, you did the test. The day after the test, you're not remembering that information. So test scores can't always be, go along with intelligence, maybe.
Well, I think it's important for everybody to remember that our system was designed to create compliance. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what we needed in the 50s, 60s,
Yep.
70s. We needed compliance.
You'd get people through high school, get them. There was plenty of jobs. You get them out, and you could go to a factory then, or go to a degree and make a decent living, which you can't do now.
No, well, you certainly can't without being creative now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there are still powerful jobs in manufacturing. There are powerful jobs in government. There are powerful jobs in service. But it's going to take a different skill set to understand that. And I think that whole concept of understanding, and I will say it every chance I get, this isn't an indictment of what was done in the past. We got really good at what we were expected to do, which is pound the creativity out of kids, not allow them to develop it. And now I think the only thing that's going to keep us in the quality of life or standard of living that we have become accustomed to is emphasizing the creativity.
Yeah.
Emphasizing the ability to solve real problems. That's still what the other countries in this world are lagging behind. Mm-hmm. Okay, China's a great example. I think I said it when I got back from that trip in August. It's our 1950s model. They're just mass producing high technology.
Okay.
They're not going to be creative with it. They're not going to identify how do we solve the global power problem, right? How do we solve the water issues? Do we evaluate what's happening with our climate? How do we get in and really question that in something other than politics?
Yeah.
Right? Do we really understand if it is or isn't? So I think that's our target is we're going to teach kids how to start thinking at that level from 4 years old on and really build that capacity. And I think if we do that and we can keep showing the results of this model, we just finished our winter testing stuff, our internal testing to see where we stand, right? Or ordinarily 40 to 50% growth is pretty impressive. Our personalized classrooms are all showing 45 to 50% growth.
Oh, that's great.
From fall to winter. That's hard to argue.
Yeah.
So for everybody out there that says, well, you shouldn't be doing this or what we're doing is fine, it's really not. Mm-hmm. And the more that folks will start to really question that and understand that, I think, again, I've said it, I think every one of these, we're so fortunate where we live. Yeah. I'm fortunate where I work. Our staff gets it, even though they're not all comfortable, right? There's a tremendous amount of discomfort, which I feel bad about.
Yep.
I would love to make this go away for folks, but we're going to have to do some heavy lifting. So.
Yeah, and like the Merging Tech Lab is a big part of that new way of thinking with high schools and stuff, bringing that tech in there. So you guys do have an open house coming up in February, right?
We do. We're going to run an open house on Wednesday the 18th. A little bit of a different time frame. We're going to go 1 to 5.
Okay.
Knowing that it's still kind of winter time, and I got a hunch we'll run one in the spring and probably do it in the evening. But I think different than the original open houses. I think we've done 2 so far. This one, I'm hoping by running it at 1 o'clock, and for those that are able to pop in and make it, we're going to see some kids.
Okay.
Being able to do some things and see how their thought process is developing and how they're challenging themselves to get better. That's the cool part, is watching kids take on technologies that they don't have any comfort level with and say, I'll learn it.
Yep.
And they learn it very quickly. And then they're able to teach it, so that tells you some depth. And
that's great.
And along that same line, I think we're gonna create kind of a new thing too to try to share some thoughts and perspectives. We're calling them Norse Connect presentations, so we're going to do some evening presentations, primarily around technology or the globalization concept, and just try to share some of the things that we've learned. Won't always be me. Hopefully we can get some guest folks to come in. And the first one I think I'm going to do, though, is around AI and its impact both locally and globally, and just try to share some things that we've seen, that we're aware of, that are happening throughout the world. So Along with the regular daily activities, we just finished a VEX Robotics tournament last weekend.
Yep.
30 teams braved the 20 below wind chill to show up, and all our volunteers were there. It was a great day. So just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, you guys got a busy schedule coming up, and winter, wow, we're getting closer to being done.
Right.
So-
We have an FFA chicken queue coming up. I think that's a big deal too in the wintertime. It's nice to get, the fire department is phenomenal with their support of us, and they're going to cook chicken, and that's coming up on Thursday the 5th, so next Thursday. So again, just lots of good stuff happening.
Yeah, good deal. Well, I better let you get going here because we're running a little short on time. But
Got to get back to work.
Yep, we'll get you back to work, and I'll get back to the music. So, Mike, thank you so much for being in here.
Sounds good. Thanks.
It is always a pleasure talking with you. We're going to jump right back into the hits here on Coffee with Brian.
WHTL. Grab your gear and head to the ice. The Mondovi Conservation Club is hosting the Steve Larson